Exclusive contract novel from Feilu Novel Network. Me, a rare earth businessman, from an aircraft carrier to the chief engineer of Star Chain. A month ago, Jiang Shu received a friend request from another parallel universe, who is willing to exchange 10 tons of rhenium ore for 100 boxes of instant noodles. And rhenium ore is a scarce mineral in the world's military industry, comparable to gold. 1 ton is worth 20 million. Jiang Shu. Transaction. Just as the world was shocked, Jiang Shu went from being an international broker monopolizing rare earths to becoming the master of Star Chain. Build the 6th branch of the Dragon Kingdom. The Space Force. Rocket Force. What? Multi-warhead supersonic active interception system. The 3 major naval fleets. He is the father of the electric bomb and the commander of the 094 nuclear submarine. A certain land aviation regiment of the Air Force. Cough cough, recruit a group of test pilots to test fly a new all-weather strategic aircraft. National Defense 7th Son. Xi'an University of Technology. When General Engineer Jiang developed the mid-stage anti-missile interception technology, he really wanted to upgrade to a bachelor's degree. Until.Foreign media captured a humanoid aircraft, performing a whale landing at an altitude of 10,000 meters. Cough. This is Qinglong Battle Armor 3.0. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1, 1 ton of rhenium ore, 100 boxes of instant noodles. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yangcheng, Tianhe District. In an apartment in a city village. Didi. Jiang Shu, are you here? In front of the computer, the penguin avatar in the bottom left corner flickers and jumps. Jiang Shu, who was crossing his legs on the chair and scrolling through short videos, quickly leaned down in front of the computer and typed with a clattering sound. On. Got it. The other party threw a picture and replied, picture. JPG, can you take a look at this? Jiang Shu narrowed his eyes and double-clicked with the mouse to enlarge the image. A plain and unremarkable stone, with a unique metallic luster on its surface, looks very beautiful. After multiple comparisons, Jiang Shu confirmed that the stone in this picture is rhenium ore. Rhenium. A rare metal, with the chemical symbol Re and atomic number 75, is one of the rarest elements in the Earth's crust. Due to its extremely low global proven reserves, it is mostly used in the industrial manufacturing of aerospace engines. So the price is expensive. Jiang Shu quickly typed the other person, that's right. What I want is this kind of stone. How many do you have? I want everything. After a while, the other party replied. How much do you want, but I have the condition. Can I exchange 1 ton of rhenium ore for a box of Kangshifu instant noodles, a box of Wangzhongwang ham sausages, and a box of mineral water? Not waiting for the other party to finish speaking, Jiang Shu sprayed out a mouthful of salt soda. Convex, dish, so cheap. On the market. The price of pure metal particles of rhenium is extremely high, reaching up to 300,000 yuan per kilogram. And 1 ton of rhenium ore can extract 10 kilograms of rhenium powder, which means the price of 1 ton of rhenium ore is as high as 3 million. Even so, how many international energy giants are queuing up to grab it? Nowadays, 1 ton of rhenium ore only requires 1 box of instant noodles, 1 box of ham sausages, and 1 box of mineral water. Blood earned. I haven't received a response from Jiang Shu yet, and the other party is a bit urgent. What? Isn't it too much? So, I don't want water anymore. I just need instant noodles and ham sausages. You know, digging these ores consumes a lot of energy. We don't have enough food to eat and we don't have the strength to dig. Looking at the chat box, Jiang Shu fell into contemplation. 3 days ago. Jiang Shu received a friend request on Penguin. The other party claims to be Liu, who comes from another multiverse called Blue Star. That cosmic zombie is rampant, civilization is on the brink of extinction. Human beings erected high walls to protect themselves, becoming the only remaining green space. And the shortage of food, water, and supplies makes them unable to eat enough and wear warm clothes. They not only need to resist the zombies outside the high walls, but also need to be self-sufficient. The only remaining resources and fertile land on the planet are countless, but they cannot be utilized at all. No wonder instant noodles, which are usually not eaten by anyone, are like treasures to them. Big brother, talk to me. We only have less than 10,000 people left here, with less than 8,000 mobilized labor force. The rest are elderly, weak, sick, disabled, and children. How about this? Exchange 2 tons of rhenium ore for a box of instant noodles, a box of ham sausages, and a box of mineral water. 2 tons. TSK capitalists shed tears upon hearing this. Jiang Shu quickly typed, since this is our first cooperation, I won't deceive you either. How about exchanging 1 ton of rhenium ore for 10 boxes of instant noodles, 10 boxes of ham sausages, and 10 boxes of mineral water? Is that interesting enough? The other party didn't reply for a long time, and after a while, they sent out a row of exclamation marks. Brother. You are really my own brother. No problem. You have as much as you want. From now on, our 10,000 people will be your laborers. How much does 10 boxes of instant noodles cost? Not to mention anything else, 1 ton of rhenium ore can be sold for 3 million, and there are still a bunch of people vying for it. Jiang Shu smiled and continued typing. 10 tons of rhenium ore corresponds to 100 boxes of instant noodles, 100 boxes of ham sausages, and 100 boxes of mineral water. Is that okay? The other party replied instantly, no problem. Jiang Shu typed, okay, you don't have to worry about me running the order. According to the rules of the multiverse, you can pay and deliver the order. Fill out the order. Next second. In the chat box, an order interface appears. Transaction order. Exchange 10 tons of rhenium ore for 100 boxes of bottled instant noodles, 100 boxes of ham sausages, and 100 boxes of mineral water. Trading method. Trading for goods. Delivery address. Number 8 Logistics Warehouse, Chongtang Street, Yangqing City. Please choose logistics method. Land transportation, sea transportation, air transportation __ to be honest. This is also Jiang Shu's first transaction, and he doesn't know how 10 tons of rhenium ore will be delivered. But obviously, the delivery address is the address reserved by Liu. However, Jiang Shu clearly remembers that number 8 Logistics Warehouse in Chongtang Street was abandoned as early as his elementary school days. Forget it. Maybe it's another multiverse, and there can't be only Earth in this world. For safety reasons, Jiang Shu chose sea transportation. Congratulations to both parties, the order was successfully placed. Choosing sea freight will incur an additional 1% handling fee, which will be deducted from both parties' goods. Please be informed. Jiang Shu asked, how many days can we send 10 tons of rhenium ore? Liu sent a Shiba dog emoji, it seems that he is in a good mood. Liu. 1 day. No, half a day. Lying trough. Jiang Shu was shocked. 10 tons of rhenium ore half a day. This resource is too abundant, isn't it? Don't forget, with 8,000 idle laborers, as long as we can have enough to eat, Mr. Jiang will make us head east instead of west in the future. Jiang Shu smiled and sent a handshake JPG. Happy cooperation. Liu. Happy cooperation. End the chat. Jiang Shu stretched lazily. Instant noodles, ham, and sausages are easy to handle. Open the Meituan app. Braised in brown sauce. spicy. Lautan pickled Chinese cabbage. 30 cases each. There are also 100 boxes of ham sausages and 100 boxes of Ibao mineral water, located at number 8 Logistics Warehouse, Chongtang Street. Remarks. Directly unload in the warehouse, otherwise leave a negative review. Submit an order for a total of 12,000, payment. I guess the merchants are also confused. Who would be a fool to buy so many side dishes? The next second, Jiang Shu's phone rang. P.S. New books and elderly, seeking flowers, seeking evaluation tickets, seeking collections. Chapter 2, Fatty water does not flow into the fields of outsiders. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hello, is that Mr. Jiang? Yes. I am the owner of Dehong Snacks. Just now, you placed an order for 100 boxes of instant noodles, 100 boxes of ham sausages, and 100 boxes of mineral water in our store. As the quantity is relatively large, we will verify with you. That's right, it's the order I placed. Okay, we'll stock up for you now. Hang up the phone, everything is done, just waiting for good news from Liu. Next, Jiang Shu needs to find a way to sell these 10 tons of Rhenium ore. While pondering, the phone rang and had just been answered, speaking familiar Sichuan Chongqing Mandarin. Hello, Lao Jiang, where are you? I'm back. Jiang Shu was taken aback and tentatively said, Shenfei. Lie down. Aren't you in Africa? When did you come back? Shenfei. Jiang Shu's best hair is small. The two grew up wearing open crotch pants, and in high school, they had 3 years of upper and lower bunks, so they couldn't be with their iron brothers. Haha. I didn't make any money and even caused a lot of trouble. Are you free tonight? I met and said, by the way, I'll drink 2 whole glasses. Okay, I'll see you at 6 p.m. at the same place. On Minwang Street, there is a large street stall for barbecue, full of fireworks. Come on, take a walk, hiss ha. On a summer day, after drinking a glass of cold beer and burping, the two of them chatted and farted, reminiscing about time. Okay, Lao Shen, I've been exercising my alcohol tolerance in Africa these years. Before, even a glass of beer could kill you, haha, Jiang Shu joked. Oh, don't mention it. In the remote areas, I have nothing to do. It's too much for his mother to drink and boast. Shenfei bit the beef tendon, and his mouth was full of oil. After 3 rounds of wine and 5 flavors of food, Jiang Shu asked, why did you suddenly come back this time? Didn't you stay well over there? Hear Jiang Shu's words. Shenfei sighed and said, the Ivia rebellion, the complete declaration of war by the anti-government armed forces and army, the chaos of criticism, the complete loss of order in the country, and countless casualties everywhere. The company has decided to let us return first to avoid the limelight. Shenfei works for a company with the prefix country and is mainly stationed in Africa. On the surface, it is responsible for infrastructure construction, but in reality, it is mainly responsible for rare earth mining and repurchase. Wait a minute. Jiang Shu suddenly thought of his batch of 10 tons of Rhenium ore. Since it's all for sale, why not sell it to the country? Fat and water don't flow into the fields of outsiders, let alone the relationship with Shenfei. Lao Shen, do you know Rhenium ore? Shenfei took a sip of his wine and said, so you're asking the right person. Do you know why our company is stationed in Ivia? Jiang Shu. Why? Shenfei. For Rhenium ore. Jiang Shu. Let's talk about it. Shenfei suddenly said mysteriously, do you know what the world lacks the most? Jiang Shu subconsciously said, lithography machine. Controllable nuclear fusion. Shenfei smiled and said, what you're talking about is at the technological level. There's no rare metal. Rhenium, and none of these things are useful. Moreover, the world's proven reserves of rhenium ore are only 2,400 tons, mainly used in aerospace, petrochemicals, radar anti-submarine, aircraft engines, turbine blades, and so on. To what extent is this thing lacking? Let me tell you this. Only if you have rhenium ore in your hands, you are the father of global military enterprises. What skunk company, what Lockheed Martin, what Boeing 747? Even Musk has to give you money. His Jiang Shu raised his eyebrows. He knew that metallic rhenium was precious, but he didn't expect so scarce. However, the next second, Shen Fei sighed and said, "That's also why our country's J.20 always cannot be mass-produced because rhenium is too scarce. Nickel-rhenium high-temperature alloy. Used for producing combustion chambers, exhaust nozzles, and turbine blades for jet engines. Once mass-produced, the demand for rhenium is bottomless." Jiang Shu thought for a moment and said, "If that's the case, rhenium should be very expensive internationally." In college, Shen Fei studied materials science. For the international prices of various rare metals, the door is clear. Laugh when you hear Jiang Shu's words. Over the years, I have been working in the company's procurement department and often collaborate with domestic and foreign military enterprises. Rhenium is always in short supply. As for the price, Shen Fei extended 5 fingers. A kilogram of metal rhenium particles is priced at $50,000. However, due to insufficient supply and scarcity, the actual transaction price is far more expensive than $50,000. Moreover, if we can provide stable supply of metallic rhenium, we are the guests of the global arms giants. Who dares to offend us? Looking for death. What Shen Fei didn't say is, he is in the procurement department of a state-owned enterprise, specifically responsible for the recycling of metallic rhenium. The reason why he didn't dare to say more is because it involves a confidentiality agreement. Being able to nag Jiang Shu so much is already a bit against discipline. As the conversation changed, Shen Fei raised his glass and said, "Why suddenly became interested in rare metals?" The two of them had another glass of beer and belched heavily. Jiang Shu wiped his mouth and pondered, "Shen Fei, how much metal rhenium do you need?" "Of course. The more, the better." Shen Fei was momentarily taken aback, feeling a hint of something off the topic. "Jiang Shu, do you have any connections?" After speaking, Shen Fei regretted it. He still knew Jiang Shu very well. "My father is a department-level cadre in the Ministry of Land and Resources. My mother is a high school teacher. A very ordinary family of civil servants. Although they were young, they have been separated since high school." Jiang Shu had to attend college because he didn't do well in the exam. "And what about Shen Fei?" "Double first-class talents, otherwise, cannot enter the core procurement department of state-owned enterprises." So, Shen Fei didn't believe that Jiang Shu had a channel for metallic rhenium. Jiang Shu thought carefully and said, "So, how much do you charge?" "I mean rhenium ore." Hear the words rhenium mine. Shen Fei put down his hand on the draft beer glass and blinked, "How much do you have first?" Jiang Shu coughed and said, 10 tons. Puzzy. 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 Shen Fei sprayed the beer out of his mouth directly. P.S. New books and elderly, seeking flowers, seeking evaluation tickets, seeking collections. Chapter 3, Broker, 40 million, I want it all. You are listening at novel.Audio. What is the concept of 10 tons? The current proven reserves of rhenium resources in China are 240 tons. 1 year's mining output is only about 2 tons from the top to the top. Good guy, Jiang Shu takes out 10 tons at a time. Moreover, this thing is a non-renewable resource, that's all. If you use it up, there won't be any. So, as long as each country can import, they will never exploit their own country, and prices will naturally rise. Shen Fei quickly wiped his mouth and looked at Jiang Shu incredulously. Are you sure? 10 tons. Rhenium ore. Jiang Shu nodded and said, 10 tons. Shen Fei was a bit incoherent and said, so, is this your relative, an unknown overseas netizen, or did you dig it yourself? Of course, don't worry, Lao Jiang. We strictly keep the identity of our suppliers confidential, this is the discipline. Jiang Shu really needed to think carefully about how to explain to Shen Fei and took a sip of wine. The other party is quite mysterious. Don't ask, I can't say too much. I can be considered as the agent of company. In an instant. Shen Fei's gaze at Jiang Shu changed. Be well behaved. The agent of an energy company is an extremely mysterious presence in the international market. Especially when it comes to rare earth resources and the military industry, it brings together various forces, and no one dares to provoke it. Moving them is like moving the cake of the army's fire. Can we not work hard with you? Do you think it's too little? Jiang Shu shrugged his crispy bones and didn't take it seriously. No, 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 how could that be? Shen Fei was just pondering. It's only been a few years since he last saw Jiang Shu, but surprisingly deep and unfathomable. He knows better than anyone what tricks a person who can open their mouth and buy and sell 10 tons of rhenium ore has. Judging from his authority as a second-level employee in the procurement department of state-owned enterprises. Any rhenium ore weighing more than 10 pounds needs to be reported to the director for approval, so he became increasingly unable to see through Jiang Shu. This is just the first batch of goods, and there are still many more to come. The company is also giving me an opportunity to exercise. Anyway, the fat and water don't flow into outsiders' fields. It's better to sell it to the country, right? Jiang Shu finished speaking. Shenyang Aircraft once again was shocked again. This is just the first batch of goods. There's more behind it. Shit. Shen Fei didn't know that the so-called company in Jiang Shu's mouth was himself. That's great, Jiang Shu. Our company wants all of your 10 tons of rhenium ore. Are you not considering it? I remember 10 tons of rhenium ore. It would cost a lot of money, right? It's a bit too fast. They used to drink strip the skewers, but now it's business to open and shut up, brother, my dear brother. What else are you considering? 10 tons of rhenium ore can extract 100 kilograms of metallic rhenium particles. Do you know how many J.20s can be made with this little thing? Shen Fei became anxious and moved a small stool to get close to Jiang Shu, mysteriously extending 10 fingers. 10 planes. Number 8 planes. Jiang Shu was taken aback, so little. No wonder the international term rhenium gold is equivalent to gold. Shen Fei also went all out, ignoring the confidentiality agreement. He must fight for these 10 tons of rhenium ore. Although your 10 tons are a drop in the bucket compared to global demand, don't underestimate them. If the enemy takes them away, isn't that a weapon against us? This is also why Jiang Shu chose to cooperate with the country. Besides, do you know how much demand our country has for rhenium resources? These are already confidential. But Jiang Shu is the youngest son of Shen Fei, with access to rhenium ore in his hands. He chooses to believe in Jiang Shu. Jiang Shu. How much? Shen Fei. Conservatively estimated, at least 50 million tons are needed. Hiss, so much. How much? Not much at all. You should know that in recent years, the distance between Dragon Country and the West in aviation science and technology is not in the drawings, but in the materials. After all, the engine turbine blades that can withstand 100,000 revolutions per second are all special metals. The key is that while the West is imposing a comprehensive blockade on the Dragon Kingdom, it is also restricting the purchase of resources. Since we can't buy it, we'll mine it ourselves. The significance of state-owned enterprises in Africa is reflected in, as for the price, don't worry, with my position, I can guarantee you a minimum of 300,000 kilograms now. We are both young and iron brothers. I will definitely report this to the director. 10 tons of Rhenium ore is a full 100 kilograms of particles, 300,000 yuan. Less. Based on my estimation, the company will give you a quote of 350,000 to 400,000 yuan. Jiang Shu was shocked. Shen Fei's quotation greatly exceeded his expectations. In order to completely dispel Jiang Shu's doubts, Shen Fei's sincerity was also demonstrated. Don't worry about the transaction anymore. 10% of the advance payment will be credited to your card by tomorrow, no later than 12 o'clock p.m., provided that it is truly Rhenium mine. No wonder Shen Fei is anxious. But it's this rare metal, which no one sells to Dragon Country internationally. Who knows how much domestic military enterprises need this batch of Rhenium ore. This time there was a rebellion in Ivia. Resulting in the termination of mining progress, the military industry tycoon who collaborated with Shen Fei and his company was so angry that he planned to secretly intervene. Jiang Shu didn't expect this matter to go so smoothly, he said. Okay, don't worry. Once the goods arrive, I'll give you some samples. You can have the company analyze them to see if they are the Rhenium ore you need. I can also contact the company to see if there are more sources of goods, and prioritize supplying them to you in the future. Shen Fei was overjoyed and picked up his wine glass. Great, take a walk. For a week, Shen Fei spent his days like a year. After finishing dinner with Jiang Shu that day, he told the director about this matter. It involves the procurement of 10 tons of Rhenium ore, which is larger than their company's 2 years of mining in Africa. Moreover, it is a rare metal that has been banned by the Dragon Kingdom, and the company attaches great importance to this matter. In the afternoon, Jiang Shu called Shen Fei and answered him in seconds. Hello, Jiang Shu. Has everything arrived yet? Here we go, should I deliver it to you or should you pick it up yourself? 1 minute, it's coming soon. P.S. New books and elderly, seeking flowers, seeking evaluation tickets, seeking collections. Qingming outing in happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 4, State Secrets, Cayman Islands, Offshore. You are listening at novel.Audio. Inside the room. Jiang Shu played with the silver stone in his hand. The touch feels cold, the surface is smooth, and the whole body presents a semi-transparent shape, which is even more beautiful than the photo Li Yu took of him on a penguin. Is this Rhenium ore? In the morning, he received a phone call from the Pearl River cargo port, saying that he had a batch of goods arrived and asked him to pick them up. Without hesitation, Jiang Shu hurried to the port and found a container ship carrying 10 tons of Rhenium ore docked at the dock. Due to the lack of a warehouse, it was not possible to unload the goods. Jiang Shu only took a small sample with him. It seems that the goods from Li Yu's side are very pure. Put down the stone. Jiang Shu typed to Li Yu on Penguin and said, I have received the goods. Have you received the goods I gave you? Li Yu second replied, Boss Jiang, you received it. It's great. Do you know how many years we haven't had instant noodles? It's so delicious. Since the Great Cataclysm began, humans have suffered heavy casualties, and who knows how long we've been eating wild vegetables. We also need to store these seasoning packets, and we can't waste them. TSK, it's too tragic. Jiang Shu was a bit fortunate that his world had not undergone zombie mutations. Jiang Shu. Just like it. Li Yu. Boss Jiang, do you think we have another chance to cooperate? You know, we still have 10,000 survivors here. Seeing so much food this time, they are full of enthusiasm, especially when they hear about it, they seem to be risking their lives. Good guy, I'm addicted to tasting the sweetness. However, whether the next batch of goods is needed, we need to wait for Shenfei to bring the samples back for testing. Once the test passes. I'm afraid that's the terrifying demand. When Shenfei arrived, Jiang Shu handed him the bag containing rhenium ore. Please reply to me as soon as possible. You don't want it. Someone will be waiting for it later. Shenfei carefully packed the things and said, I'll take them to the laboratory for testing. Wait for my phone call. Jiang Shu stretched lazily, opened up the King of Glory, and prepared to be happy as a positive energy in the canyon. Half an hour later, Jiang Shu, who was working as an old six in the canyon, received a call from Shenfei. Just answered the phone. Shenfei exclaimed excitedly, Jiang Shu. This is amazing. Your goods are the purest rhenium ore we have ever seen. The purification rate is as high as 50%. 50%. On the market, an ordinary 1 ton of rhenium ore can extract 10 kilograms of rhenium powder. The rhenium ore provided by Jiang Shu comes from another multiverse, with extremely high purity and excellent quality. Naturally, the purification rate is also outrageously high. Fearing that Jiang Shu might not understand, Shenfei added, that is to say, your 1 ton of rhenium ore can purify 50 kilograms of rhenium powder. As Jiang Shu guessed, Li Yu's world was rich in resources and could start large-scale mining. As long as the quality is qualified, let's talk about the price. Shenfei's expression was serious and he pondered, Jiang Shu, currently in the international market, no seller dares to supply Longwa rhenium ore. You are the only one, and I have reported it to our leaders. We admire your patriotic spirit and of course, we will not let you suffer a loss. Currently, the price of rhenium ore in the market is around 300,000 kilograms, and there is no market for it. The leader has said that we have decided to give you a price of 450,000 kilograms. Sleeping trough. Jiang Shu widened his eyes. Extract 50 kilograms of rhenium powder from 1 ton of rhenium ore. 10 tons of rhenium ore is 500 kilograms, 450,000 yuan per kilogram, which is 225 million. No wonder AJ.20 is so expensive. Immediately after, Shenfei changed his tone and spoke sincerely. However, based on our relationship, Jiang Shu, I have a heartless request. As you know, the country has always been hindered by the West in the field of rare metals. Can you tell the company behind you that in the future, if there is rhenium ore, please try to supply it to us first. Of course, don't worry, we won't lose any of the money. This is just our first cooperation, and we will make a full payment of 50% of the goods every time in the future. We guarantee that we won't make it difficult for you. Is that okay with you? To be honest, this requirement is not excessive at all. Moreover, with state-owned enterprises doing endorsements, there is no need to worry about the issue of arrears. What Jiang Shu is worried about is, this matter is kept S-level confidential throughout the entire process, and no more than one person within the system knows about it. If you have any difficulties, you can try to tell us. Just now, the leader said, as long as it's your problem, it's the company's problem, it's the country's problem. That's all for now. Jiang Shu had no worries and said, okay, I promise you. Before we could finish speaking, we heard cheers from the other side. But I have a few requirements. Shenfei's voice was excited and he said, just mention it. Jiang Shu, as long as it's your business, it's the company's business. Jiang Shu's deep voice. 1. The price doesn't need to be based on 450,000 kilograms, 100,000 yuan is enough, after all, I can't do things like making a fortune in a country. 2. I need you to provide a specific list of requirements, including how many tons. If possible, I would like to know what these rhenium ores are used for. 3. Help me register a bank account in the Cayman Islands, transfer the money in, and set the password to my birthday, you know. Shenfei has already made the low price of 100,000 kilograms pass out with joy. But upon hearing Jiang Shu's second request, his face became solemn. Jiang Shu, the second request is a bit difficult as it involves state secrets. Thinking that Jiang Shu had already made such a huge concession, Shen Fei gritted his teeth. Wait a minute, I'll get back to you in 1 minute. Jiang Shu said, okay, I'll wait for you. Hang up the phone. In less than a minute, Shen Fei's call came back again. Jiang Shu, the leader agrees with your request, but you must not tell anyone that it involves national land strategy. Once it causes losses, it is immeasurable. Jiang Shu laughed and said, deal. Strategic cooperation has been achieved. Obviously, the identity of a second-level foreign trade officer no longer meets the requirements of Shen Fei. To be able to attract this super supplier, Jiang Shu, at least the level needs to be elevated by 3 levels. Don't worry about the money, I'll hand over my account to you within 3 days. Seeing that the other party was full of sincerity, Jiang Shu did not hesitate. 10 tons of Rhenium ore has been in Dock 2 of the Pearl River Cargo Port, a black container ship. P.S. New books and elderly, seeking flowers, seeking evaluation tickets, seeking collections Qingming outing in happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 5, Individual, 10, 100, 1000, 10,000, Dad, Grandpa. You are listening at novel.Audio. Shen Fei just put down the phone over here. In the conference room, a group of senior executives from state-owned enterprises in their 40s and 50s, who have been weathered by the wind and rain, stared at him with bright eyes and tongues. How about it? Does the other party agree? Do you think the price of 450,000 yuan is too low? It's easy to say about money. Our bottom line is 600,000 kilograms, as long as it doesn't exceed this price, we can accept it. What we value is not a single transaction, but a long-term partnership. Shen Fei turned his head and looked at the big shots, feeling excited. It's done. Jiang Shu promised us that Rhenium ore will be supplied to us first in the future, and the price is only 100,000 kilograms. In an uproar, the conference room was filled with the sound of air conditioning and a sea of admiration. Good job. This is patriotism. I didn't expect there to be such a mysterious Dragon Kingdom agent in the international market. Shen Fei, why didn't you tell us earlier that you have such a good hairstyle? Haha, great. With Rhenium ore suppliers, aerospace, fighter jets, satellites, military issues. Everything is easily solved. We must ensure his safety and secretly assist in the revival of the Dragon Kingdom, making great contributions. Wait until the conference room clears. A middle-aged man with sword eyes, eyebrows, and a national face, holding a teacup, walked toward Shen Fei. This person is Guan Dongshan, the leader of China Construction 7th Engineering Bureau, the largest engineering contractor of state-owned enterprises stationed overseas. Shen Fei, you did a great job. You have made the greatest contribution in securing the supplier of Rhenium ore this time. The team has decided to promote you to the position of Deputy Director of the Procurement Department. Good guy, direct department-level cadres. Shen Fei was overjoyed and said, thank you for your esteemed leadership. Just kidding. Such a large transaction involves countless departments, and it would be impossible to rely solely on Shen Fei if it weren't for someone behind it leading the way. For your friend and supplier, his request for the company to unconditionally meet and sign the remaining contract as soon as possible. The conversation is over, wait for Shen Fei to come out of the office. Kanto Mountain picked up the red and white machine. Can you help me check out a young man named Jiang Shu? Yes. Undercover protection, don't let him notice. In addition, his family should be promoted and his salary should be increased. Within 3 days. Jiang Shu received 3 payments from 3 Swiss accounts for offshore funds. The first installment is 2.3 million US dollars. The second installment is 1.8 million pounds. The third transaction is 2.9 million euros. Jiang Shu couldn't believe it for a moment. Number 10. 100. 1,000. 1. Dad. Sir. In terms of conversion, it's not much, exactly 50 million. Ha. Jiang Shu took a deep breath, always feeling a sense of peace in his bag. This feeling was wonderful, full and excited. 50 million in the past, he couldn't even think about it. And now, lying quietly in the account. As long as Jiang Shu thinks, he can withdraw this money freely, clean and without any worries, let alone be regulated by the state. This is also the benefit of cooperating with state-owned enterprises. Soon, Shenfei's phone call arrived as scheduled. Lao Jiang, have you received the money? Jiang Shu smiled and said, the company has informed me that the money has already been received, and it still needs to be at the speed of your state-owned enterprise. If this is an ordinary private enterprise, it won't take you 1 or 2 months to finish. A month or 2 is less who is not a human sperm in foreign trade. Can giving 1 less day earn you an extra day of interest, isn't it delicious? Our CEO has said that in the future, as long as it's your order, payment will be given priority, and you can't miss anything. Shenfei chuckled, speaking of which, I also have to thank you. I have been promoted, and in the future, I will be the Deputy Director of the Procurement Department of 7th Construction. Jiang Shu was taken aback. Good guy, his unintentional move actually led to Shenfei being promoted 3 levels in a row. As is well known, the promotion of state-owned enterprises is like reaching the sky. It's not that the relationship behind it is so hard that it's possible to be an expatriate for the rest of your life. Jiang Shu joked, sure, it will be Director Shen from now on. Do we have to treat him? Haha. I really need to thank you very much. On Friday, we will have a feast of seafood, and we won't go home until we get drunk. Shenfei was refreshed during the happy event, and the conversation changed. However, before that, the company's task came, and this time the quantity was quite large. Jiang Shu's eyelids twitched and he said, how big is it? Shenfei opened his mouth and said, 100 tons, payment before delivery, 50% deposit in advance. Jiang Shu thought that Qi needed 20,000 to 30,000 tons in one breath, so it would definitely not be easy to handle for a while. I didn't expect it to be only 100 tons. Okay, no problem. I told the company that within half a month, it was still the Pearl River cargo port. I would not go this time. Once the goods arrived, your people and cars would be taken away directly to avoid being conspicuous. Jiang Shu casually asked Shenfei to bite the cold wind. I really thought this was a family game. 100 tons of Rhenium ore, just give it. Okay, it's still Doc 2. I'll wait for your message. A reincarnation. Twice cooked. Sometimes, don't make things complicated. For state-owned enterprises like Qi, it's hard to come across a supplier who dares to sell their Rhenium ore. Besides, it's still a very low price of 100,000 1 kilogram, let's have fun stealing it. So, what Jiang Shu can do is to keep his heart in his stomach, expand and strengthen his business, and create brilliance again. Hang up the phone. Jiang Shu turned around and opened the phone, dropping Li Yu on the penguin. Jiang Shu. Are you tired of eating instant noodles? Li Yu. Boss Jiang has finally arrived. How could he be tired of eating? If he has something to eat, it's good, just a bitter smile. JPG. Jiang Shu. I'll give you something different this time. Self-heating small hot pot. Little pan rice. Hot dry noodles. Fried dumplings. Li Yu. Brother, come on, as long as you can't die, go ahead and die. Greedy. JPG, Jiang Shu said, your people help me mine, I'll take care of your food and drink. Liu. P.S. New books and elderly, seeking flowers, seeking evaluation tickets, seeking collections Qingming outing in happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 6, Are you asking the country to work for you? You have good. You are listening at novel full.audio. At present, the demand for rhenium ore is infinite. Moreover, not only rhenium ore, but also gold, rare earths in other words, the entire planet is Jiang Shu's resource pool. Placing an order is not only troublesome, but Liu and his team also cannot eat enough. Simply hire them to work for themselves based on the minimum daily meal fee of 10 yuan per person. 10,000 people make 100,000 in a day, 3 million in a month, and 9 million in 3 months. Oh my goodness. Mr. Jiang, you are simply our God. You really should see how we live. Many people only eat a piece of black and hard bread every day. The wild vegetables and crops we grow ourselves can only meet the needs of 5,000 people, most of whom are starving every day. To be honest, Mr. Jiang, without your order, we might really starve to death. 10,000 people are starving for food. Crops cannot be grown in a short period of time. They are carefully nurtured in spring, summer, autumn, and winter. It's not easy to survive even if we have to resist the invasion of zombies from outside. Place an order now. In the chat box, a different order interface appears than before. Long-term order. Hire 10,000 people to work for you. Job description. Mining. Exchange conditions. Supplies with a daily living allowance of 10 yuan per person. Delivery address. ___________. Please choose logistics method. Land transportation, sea transportation, air transportation. Jiang Shu. By the way, Liu, how did you receive the supplies we gave you last time? Liu said, the next day I appeared directly in the warehouse. The food in the entire warehouse looks so happy. I see, I'm afraid this is the trading law of the multiverse. To cover up the truth. Jiang Shu asked Liu to provide 4 addresses this time, and within a month, they will be shipped by sea via container ships. Otherwise, always having the same address can easily lead to suspicion. Moreover, Jiang Shu has an intuition that the country has already noticed him, and using container ships can actually create a false impression. Congratulations to both parties, the order was successfully placed. Jiang Shu suddenly thought of something. Liu, how much rhenium ore can you mine per person per day now? After waiting for a while, Liu replied, conservatively estimate that one person can dig 200 pounds per day. Jiang Shu. Pure handmade. Liu. Yes. 7,000 people, weighing 200 pounds per person per day. This efficiency is amazing. No wonder Liu told Jiang Shu last time that 10 tons of rhenium ore won't be needed for half a day. Boss, is there anything else? If there's nothing else, I'm going to organize personnel and start mining. Wait a moment. Jiang Shu found several pictures of gold online and sent them to Liu. Pay more attention to these golden stones when you dig. Boss, what is this? Gold mine. If you discover it, let me know as soon as possible. Okay. End the chat. Jiang Shu sent a text message to Shenfei, stating that a new batch of rhenium mines will enter the port in 2 weeks. This time it's not just a container, but a dry bulk carrier loaded with 100 tons of rhenium ore. For this reason, at the instruction of Shenfei, Qijian directly rented 4 cabins of Dock 2 for emergency needs. Shenfei replied immediately, received. The advance payment will be transferred to your overseas account within 24 hours. Have a pleasant cooperation. Jiang Shu rubbed his brow and said, it's not urgent. I'll give you your account in 3 days. Shenfei laughed dumbfounded and said, "You guys are really cautious, understanding. The next day, Jiang Shu registered a head account with an overseas bank and transferred money from the Cayman Islands into the account in batches to purchase bearer bonds, which were first salvaged and then washed. In this way, the money becomes clean and tidy. Actually, there's no need to be so troublesome, for the state-owned enterprises behind Shenfei. Jiang Shu's continuous supply of Rhenium ore has been an immeasurable achievement. He just doesn't want to be exposed under the eyelids of others, even the country." After some operation, it was already 3 days later. Jiang Shu looked at the huge sum of 50 million yuan lying on his bank card, feeling like he had passed away. You know, before that, he was still a little loser with less than 20,000 yuan in his pocket. "It's been a long time since I went back to see my parents. I called my parents in advance, and Jiang Shu went straight to the largest commercial square in Yangcheng. I bought nearly 100,000 yuan for various nutritional supplements and also bought myself an outfit." When Jiang Shu appeared at the door carrying large and small bags. "Mom, I'm back." Ms. Wang Hui, dressed in an apron and carrying a spatula, looked at her son outside the door in surprise. "Oh my goodness, Lao Jiang. Jiang Heping. Your son is back." Dad Jiang Heping, not serious about words or smiles, pretended to be unhappy when he saw Jiang Shu whom he hadn't seen for a long time, but in fact, he was happier than anyone else in his heart. "Humph, you know you have a home." Ms. Wang Hui slapped Jiang Heping and said angrily, "All right, he just graduated and is busy with his career. He finally came back, don't lose face." Jiang Shu made a face and put down the big and small things. Looking at a sumptuous table full of dishes that Jiang Shu loves to eat. Wow! What a delicious soup! Tea shrimp. Soy sauce chicken. Glutinous rice ribs. Braised pork with brine. Mom, your skills are getting better and better. Ms. Wang Hui set up the dishes and said, "Today, not only are you happy to come back, but we also celebrate your father's promotion." Dad opened Mao Tai, which he had been reluctant to drink, and smiled, saying, "We also want to celebrate your mother's promotion to the position of teaching director. It's really strange that she was promoted at this age." At the dinner table, Jiang Shu, who had just stuffed a shrimp into his mouth, stood still and asked, "Dad, have you been promoted?" Ms. Wang Hui rushed and said, "Not only did your father get promoted, but the company he was transferred to is right at his doorstep, and he doesn't even need to drive a car. It's just a 2-step walk, As is well known, the promotion of civil servants within the system is extremely difficult. Dad has been working diligently in the regulatory department of the second-level unit of the Land and Resources Bureau for many years, and his level as a deputy department is already the ceiling for ordinary people like him. Ko was over 50 years old but suddenly promoted and transferred, and was directly given the treatment of a deputy. This is too abnormal, isn't it? Moreover, my mother was even promoted to the position of teaching director." This made Jiang Shu suspicious and sent a message to Shenfei. "Did my dad get promoted?" "Soon." Second response. The meaning of the leader is that uncle should also be promoted. Hold hands. JPG, TSK within the system, everyone is a human spirit. PS, new books and elderly, seeking flowers, seeking evaluation tickets, seeking collections Qingming outing in happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 7, Ordnance Corporation, Arms Giant. You are listening at novel.Audio. At the dinner table, there was talk and laughter. The second old man was a bit worried when he saw what Jiang Shu had brought home. "Xiao Shu, when you come back this time, it's both the Chinese zodiac sign Mao Tai and the Chinese zodiac sign. Tell your mother, what is your job?" Ms. Wang Hui is a bit worried. She is not a fool either. As a teacher of the people, good things can still be distinguished at a glance. Jiang's father remained silent and kept waiting for Jiang Shu's answer. Dad, Mom, our company is engaged in overseas trade. What overseas trade? Father Jiang needs to ask more clearly. Knowing that this matter cannot be concealed, Jiang Shu put down his chopsticks and explained. Mainly engaged in commodity trading, involving rare earths, crude oil, agricultural trade, and special metals. Based on Jiang's experience within the system over the years, it is vaguely evident that Jiang Shu is doing business with the country. Otherwise, why did Shenfei personally visit the house 2 days ago, holding good wine and cigarettes? Moreover, even though I am nearly 50 years old, I can still get promoted. When did the relationship between the old Jiang family become so strong? Even if the ancestral tomb emits smoke, it cannot be directly promoted to a department-level cadre. In association, Shenfei, who worked in a state-owned enterprise, and his son frequently walked around during this period. The fool also guessed. Jiang nodded and said, I don't care what you do, but you can't do anything that harms the country or the people. Alright, it's okay. Your son finally came back once, not to mention work-related matters. Ms. Wang Hui quickly stopped and served Jiang Shu some vegetables. Xiao Shu, eat more vegetables. After lunch. Jiang Shu did not make too many stops. He wants to buy a car, after all, it will be convenient for him to travel in the future. As for Ferrari, Lamborghini and others, they are not within his consideration range. One is too ostentatious. The second issue is that the chassis is too low, making driving uncomfortable. So, Jiang Shu set his sights on Rolls-Royce Cullinan. After all, in the future, besides cooperating with state-owned enterprises, there will also be many overseas energy giants. Quickly arrived at the Rolls-Royce 4S store. Hello sir, may I help you with anything? Miss said sweetly. In Yangcheng, the old man wearing a flip-flop may be a chartered public servant, while the one dressed brilliantly may be a laborer. I want to see Rhenium. In the lobby. Jiang Shu clearly felt the atmosphere was a bit tense, especially when he expressed his intention to purchase, and all the salespeople looked at him. Just kidding. So young. By Cullinan. What is the name, sir? Jiang Shu. Okay, Mr. Jiang, please follow me. Jiang Shu followed the sales team and moved from the front hall to the back hall. At this moment, a silver and black dual-color Rhenium stopped at the booth. It has to be said that it is indeed beautiful, but the car is just for transportation. If it is not for business needs, the Baojun 730 is enough. Mr. Jiang, this 22 model Cullinan features a 6.7-liter twin-turbocharged V12 engine with strong performance, paired with front/rear 10JX 24-inch FS.23 diamond silver forged wheels, as well as Mastrato calf leather, Alcantara suede. Jiang Shu had no mood to listen and raised his hand to stop her. How much do you say? Sir, this fully equipped dual-tone black badge Rhenium is priced at 9.4 million yuan and we need you to provide it. Without waiting for her to BB, Jiang Shu took out his bank card and said, do you need capital verification? Hurry up, I'm in a hurry. The salesgirl was a bit confused and took the bank card in a daze. Mr. Jiang, Rhenium needs to make a reservation. Moment 3 black lines sprouted from Jiang Shu's head. Can you introduce some chicken feathers? The scheduled time often starts from 3 months, who has free time? So you didn't say it earlier. Jiang Shu angrily withdrew his bank card and turned around to leave. Behind him, the general manager of Rolls-Royce jogged all the way to catch up. Mr. Jiang, wait a moment. Jiang Shu, who was just about to open the door, said, needless to say, I don't have time to wait for a car, my time is precious. No, it's Mr. Jiang. The Cullinan in the exhibition hall is no longer available because the person who booked it is no longer available. As long as you make the payment, you can immediately drive away with this car. Jiang Shu stopped, turned around, and without saying a word, took out his bank card and said, "Swipe your card." Amidst the confusion of the general manager and showroom salesperson, they hurriedly went through the procedures for Jiang Shu. The entire process of purchasing a car takes less than 30 minutes. A car worth 10 million yuan, don't even blink, just swipe your card. This operation is so numb to the eye. Everything was handled properly, and a text message popped up on Jiang Shu's phone. "Hello Mr. Jiang, congratulations on becoming a prestigious Rolls-Royce owner. May the flying goddess illuminate your career and future, guarding your entire life." The 4S store kindly presented a greeting card. The small regular script written with hot stamping, in both Chinese and English, exudes nobility. Under the attention of the staff. The only fully equipped dual-color Cullinan in the exhibition hall slowly drove out. Then, under Jiang Shu's 1-foot throttle, he swept away from the dust. At night, Shenfei is treating guests to seafood at the banquet. When Jiang Shu arrived, all the dishes had been served, and besides Shenfei, there was also a seductive woman. A typical fair-skinned and beautiful woman with long legs, an A4 waist for collarbone fish farming, and a capable ponytail, she looks incredibly beautiful. Seeing Jiang Shu enter, a pair of eyebrows and eyes did not move. Jiang Shu apologized, "I'm sorry, I didn't expect Yangqing to be so congested." Shenfei quickly stood up and said, "You can count it. Hurry up, let me introduce you." As she spoke, the woman stood up with a smile on her lips. Su Qingyue, a partner of our 7th construction, has been our major investor in the overseas supply and marketing department of the Ordnance Corporation for years, ahaha. I wipe it. Huaxia Ordnance Corporation. The boss of the General Equipment Department. The top 10 military giants in the world. Or the Huaxia Army Weapon and Equipment Development Center. The famous Type 99 main battle tank, the Land and Air Force Direct 10, and the Guardian 2 rocket launcher are all their masterpieces. P.S. New books and elderly, seeking flowers, seeking evaluation tickets, seeking collections Qingming outing in happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 8, Guests of Dogs, General Equipment Department. You are listening at novel.Audio. Hello, Mr. Jiang, I've heard a lot about you. Su Qingyue extended her tender white hand and looked at Jiang Shu with a smile on her face. Hello. 3 people sat down and the dishes were served quickly, all authentic Yangqing flavors. Su Qingyue, a northerner, also eats with relish. Lao Jiang, thank you very much for your contributions to the country. It has been so frustrating that we have been stuck in our necks over the years. Shenfei raised his glass. The two drank it all at once. Jiang Shu smiled and said, "Look at what you said, it's your first time meeting me. Don't bury me." After speaking, Shenfei took out a black leather bag from under the table. At the moment of opening, rows of neatly arranged cash were exposed to the air. Lao Jiang, this is a bonus of 2 million yuan given by the company. It will only increase or decrease every year in the future. I, Shenfei, am not ungrateful. I will give you all this money. I don't want any of it. If you don't accept it, you will look down on me, Shenfei. I have been in Africa for a long time. Especially when dealing with physical companies such as civil engineering, water conservancy, military, and rare earths. Everyone values being able to see and touch. More accustomed to cash transactions. After all, online transfers always leave traces, which naturally conforms to the urine habits of those foreigners. I didn't expect it. After returning to China, Shenfei still retained this set. And Su Qingyue next to her is even more ordinary. She has seen too many dog tycoons throw away cash if they don't agree. Jiang Shu waved his hand and said, "Our friendship that grew up with little bare buttocks still requires you, Shen Fei, to flatter me like this. You're too far-fetched. This is a bit of my heart. You can keep your heartfelt feelings. I have also received kickbacks on the payments you made. In our industry, many of our connections need to be unblocked." "No, no, 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 absolutely not. You must keep this money, and I will have someone put it in your trunk later. I can't resist it." Jiang Shu accepted it. There is no need to worry about Shen Fei. Being able to connect with Jiang Shu will be enough for him to eat and drink for a lifetime. The three of them chatted while eating. Jiang Shu also learned about Su Qingyue's identity. "I am 29 years old this year and the daughter of a regional commander in a second-tier western city. After graduating with a PhD, I have been working in the General Equipment Department, doing some civilian work. I don't know why I'm interested in arms. At home, they used their connections and were transferred to the Weapons Corporation. Transferring from the military to state-owned enterprises, although not at a disadvantage in terms of rank, resulted in a salary difference of 108,000 miles, which made their old man very angry. To put it bluntly, he is just a salesperson, only selling the national castrated version of military equipment to the outside world. I never expected it. These years have made her thrive overseas. The total trade volume of exported arms has been increasing year by year, and she alone has contributed to sales of $10 billion. A reliable dog tycoon with terrifying connections. And the Rhenium ore provided by Jiang Shu this time is exactly what the Ordnance Corporation needs the most. Mr. Jiang, thank you very much this time." Su Qingyue stood up. "Since the Ivia War, the already scarce Rhenium ore has been completely cut off this time. Moreover, the price you offered cannot be found in a second place in the world. This cup is my toast to you." A whole goblet of baijiu was drunk in one gulp. Jiang Shu finally understood that Su Qingyue's performance was so good and she was a good social flower. "This is what I should do." After speaking, Su Qingyue looked cautious and took out a document bag. "Mr. Jiang, this is the Rhenium ore demand list you requested, which is confidential. Please review it here." Jiang Shu looked serious and nodded. "Take the file bag and carefully open it. The above clearly states the demand for metallic rhenium in various countries, as well as global distribution map of rhenium ore industry. It's similar to what Jiang Shu guessed. The demand of a beautiful country accounts for 70% of the global demand. In addition to aerospace engines, high-precision CNC machine tools, and high-efficiency engines, what surprised Jiang Shu was the space station has the highest demand. And among them, Musk's star chain plan was the first to bear the brunt. To be honest, Mr. Jiang, rhenium metal is just one of them. Metal chromium powder, rare earth titanium, metal germanium, etc. These rare metals are too scarce in metallurgy, semiconductor, and national defense industries." Su Qingyue took out another document and handed it to Jiang Shu. "The total reserves and prices of rare metals are clearly indicated above. Even the gaps are marked, chromite ore. Market price 20,000/ton, shortage. Scarce rhenium particles. Market price of 300,000 to 500,000 yuan per kilogram, shortage. Scarce titanium crystal. Market price of 220,000 yuan per kilogram, shortage. Scarce germanium black ore. Market price of 150,000 yuan per ton, shortage. Shortage. Although Longwa has always been a rare earth country, our rare earth division is extremely uneven, death due to drought and death due to waterlogging. Like iron ore, it's everywhere. And rare metals such as titanium, rhenium, germanium, but they are pitifully scarce, relying on imports while also having to mine their own. With the rise of the Dragon Kingdom, the drawbacks of exporting rare earths to accumulate in the industry have become apparent. We have begun to significantly reduce rare earth exports, which are mainly used for domestic industrial production. Su Qingyue couldn't help but speak up and said, "So, Mr. Jiang, I don't know if you can get access to the rare metals inside." Jiang Shu's eyebrows furrowed. The situation was not optimistic. "Do you have any samples?" Su Qingyue quickly took out a pile of tightly wrapped ores, big and small, from her bag. Chromite, titanium, crystal, germanium, black, or all kinds, everything is there. "Hey guys, you guys came prepared, cover your face." JPG. "I would like to ask, who wants it? Private enterprise? State-owned enterprise? Or your weapons headquarters?" Jiang Shu returned the top-secret information of the Rhenium mine to Su Qingyue. To be honest, collaborating with state-owned enterprises or doing business with the military can bring great profits. Stable. Reliable. There is a lot of money. There is little to do. But if it's a foreign private enterprise, or if it's a walking 500000, Jiang Shu needs to be careful with 12 points to avoid getting into trouble and not making any money, and even earning the reputation of a traitor. Su Qingyue hesitated to speak, but remained cautious. There is a space agency. There is a scientific academy. There is a military. P.S. New books and elderly, seeking flowers, seeking evaluation tickets, seeking collections, Qingming outing in happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 9, 7,000 Staffing Officers. Pinyin County Town. You are listening at novel full.audio. How much do you want? Jiang Shu said in a deep voice, also. What about the price? As soon as this sentence is spoken, Su Qingyue and Shenfei exchanged a glance and breathed a sigh of relief together. These two people. One is a state-owned enterprise with a time-honored brand. One is an international military giant. The relationship with the upper class is intricate and intricate. If Jiang Shu can provide such cheap Rhenium ore, they have to consider Jiang Shu's purpose. Even after the first transaction ended, Jiang Shu's household registration had already turned upside down. Currently, there are no issues. Otherwise, Shenfei would not be able to recommend Su Qingyue, the military spokesperson, to Jiang Shu. A heart that can prevent people is indispensable. Jiang Shu's cleanliness does not necessarily mean that the company behind him is clean. For a country, a broker who only wants money is a qualified one safe broker. The more, the better. As for the money, you can rest assured that it is clearly priced and fair for both the elderly and the children. Okay, I'll go back and ask for more details. I'll contact you as soon as I have any news. Jiang Shu and Su Qingyue exchanged contact information. Finish a meal. A table full of seafood was untouched, but on the contrary, a lot of alcohol was consumed. This is the society of human relationships. As the saying goes, the martial arts world is not about fighting and killing, but about human relationships and worldly wisdom. However, in today's situation, Jiang Shu met Su Qingyue, the spokesperson for the military, which will definitely be of great help to him in the future. And Jiang Shu also entrusted Shenfei with something. Shenfei, our company is looking for a factory in Africa. Do you have any connections? Factory building. Yes, it needs to be larger. The company mainly uses it to store precious metals. If it's not visible on satellites, that would be even better. Sending supplies to Liu always comes from domestic ports, which makes Jiang Shu a bit uneasy. If there were an overseas transportation channel, it would definitely be more convenient and extremely covert. Our company already has ready-made ones. When we retreated from Ivia, we didn't even need the rent for half a year. The 3-story factory covers an area of over 1,000 square meters. Even if we go back then, we will have to find a new place. Shenfei was a bit worried, but Ivia, it's too dangerous. Jiang Shu's eyes lit up and he patted Shenfei, saying, the more dangerous a place is, the safer it is. Shenfei laughed dumbfounded and said, you guys are really cunning. Go downstairs. Su Qingyue drove a military brand Audi A8 with the driver. Shenfei is still the Volkswagen Tiguan, but Jiang Shu's Cullinan attracts countless attention. Mr. Jiang, please. Okay, I'll take these samples back first. Open the trunk. Sure enough, upon seeing a bag of cash, Jiang Shu shook his head and smiled bitterly, bidding them farewell, and Rhenium passed away completely. After Jiang Shu left, Su Qingyue and Shenfei also left one after another. In the car, Su Qingyue immediately dialed an unclaimed number. Political Commissar, I have seen the person. At present, except for this person, we have no knowledge of the company behind him. We also asked about the Pearl River port. There is no loophole. The origin of the two cargo arrivals is different. He should be a mysterious international broker, not a fraudster. Yes. However, he just said he wants to find a place in Africa that cannot be monitored by satellites. It's not like white gloves. If you dare to come into contact with us for so long, you should have confidence. I tend to be a patriotic person. Moreover, it's unimaginable to offer us such a low price. He and Shenfei are still young, and they both know the root of the matter. Okay, I understand. The next few days. Jiang Shu received a message from Li Yu that sailing on the sea, without wind or waves, would take about 10 days. This is already fast. In addition, Jiang Shu also inquired about the Rhenium ore that arrived at the Pearl River seaport in the past 2 days. I didn't expect it. The answer I got was that the entry register issued by the customs was exactly the same. It can only be said that the freight of the multiverse is too powerful, and there is no trace of it. The 1% handling fee is really worth it. And Li Yu's supplies won't last for a few days, so Jiang Shu needs to mail them as soon as possible. After several days of contact, the relationship between Li Yu and Jiang Shu is becoming increasingly close. At least they are also their food and clothing parents. Research system, boss, we couldn't find the kind of golden stone you mentioned. Through the chat box, Jiang Shu fell into contemplation. After all, it's gold, the most precious metal in the world, with a ton worth 280 million. Even the proven reserves on Earth are only 129,000 tons. Moreover, even if Li Yu and his team find a gold mine, they don't have large-scale mining tools. It's okay, the things have already been loaded onto the ship, right? It's been transported away. Okay, I'll send you a few more pictures. Jiang Shu took photos of the ore samples given by Su Qingyue and sent them to Li Yu. Image. JPG. Image. JPG. Image. JPG. Image. JPG. Image. JPG. Image. JPG. When encountering these types of stones, pay more attention. Seeing the picture, Li Yu is a bit puzzled. Boss, it may be a bit difficult to find within the high wall base, and the Rhenium ore has also been mined almost. If you want to collect more, you may have to go outside the base. Jiang Shu almost forgot. Li Yu and these 10,000 people can only hide inside the high walls of the base, and there is a tide of corpses outside. In other words, such a large blue star has only mined less than 1/1,000,000th. How can we go outside the base? This may require ammunition, weapons, firearms. Our ammunition can only guarantee self-defense. If we want to expand outward, this firepower is simply not enough. What if I mail it to you? Boss, not to mention these stones, you can also find gold mines. Okay, wait for my message. The first batch of supplies will arrive in batches in the next 2 days. Jiang Shu is a bit hesitant. Where are we going to get weapons? 7,000 people, about 1 staffing officer. Are you afraid of rebelling if you want to equip a strategist? Pull a few eggs. Wait a minute. Jiang Shu suddenly thought of Su Qingyue. Isn't she the spokesperson for the general weapon? In the name of the company, she probably wouldn't disagree with asking him to purchase military equipment, would she? Amazing. P.S. New books and elderly, seeking flowers, seeking evaluation tickets, seeking collections Qingming outing in happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 10, Military and Police Administration, an S-encrypted. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. 1 week later. A large cargo ship loaded with 5,000 containers successfully departed the port after passing customs inspection. A cargo ship weighing nearly 60,000 tons, filled with various daily necessities and fast food desserts. In order to allow Li and his team to eat fresh fruits and vegetables, Jiang Shu specially rented 2,000 refrigerators, including chickens, ducks, fish, seafood, and fish. Based on his estimation, this supply ship can provide them with at least 2 months of food and drink without worries. According to the address, this cargo ship will exit from the Pearl River seaport, go south, cross the Indian Ocean, cross the Strait of Malacca, follow the South African route, and arrive at the destination in 10.15 days. The total cost of Jiang Shu is 20 million. However, compared to the upcoming 500 million, this amount of money is just a drop in the bucket. Yangqing. The Pearl River seaport. A secret army entering the port, standing by. Including the general manager and legal representative of the port, all are waiting in the office. Many plainclothes police officers have blocked the entrance and all unauthorized persons are prohibited from entering. Head. 2 AC-312E police helicopters are hovering non-stop. As the third largest seaport in China, the Pearl River seaport has been under the jurisdiction of the military and police. At this moment, in the parking lot of the port, a dual-color Corina picked the best view and waited for the cargo ship to enter the port. Inside the car, Jiang Shu's 3 accounts in the Cayman Islands received $23 million, $38 million, and 1 billion Chinese yuan, respectively. Next second, he directly transferred it and exchanged it for 1 million anonymous bonds. At this point, Jiang Shu could basically breathe a sigh of relief. He finally understood what his ancestors said about being safe in the bag. Shen Fei's phone call arrived as scheduled. The finance department told me that the money has already been transferred. Can you ask the company if they have received it? Received. Lao Jiang, on behalf of the company and country, thank you. What's the point of thanking you? It's just a one-time deal. What's wrong? I took 100 tons of Rhenium ore, so I won't do any business with the rest. Jiang Shu joked, after all the grinding and killing, you 7 construction are too ruthless. Shen Fei laughed dumbfounded. Listening to Jiang Shu's tone, his state was relaxed. Sure enough, this guy is someone who does big things. Unlike him, who entered a state of tension from the moment he received a call from Jiang Shu, as the deputy director of the procurement department, he had to go from beginning to end. Ensure that this batch of Rhenium ore enters the designated warehouse smoothly. Only then can he take his heart to heart. If there is any mistake in the middle, Shenfija's job will be small, and the country's losses will be great. Well, I have already entered your information into the dock system. In the future, when entering and exiting the port, you only need to brush your face without reporting. TSK, we still have to eat imperial food. Jiang Shu nodded. In his sight, a huge cargo ship on the sea skipped the queue and slowly entered the port. With a muffled whistle, something arrived. On the tracks inside the port, there are 27 trains that quietly stopped last night, waiting for loading and transportation. Seeing the Rhenium mine enter the port with his own eyes, Jiang Shu started the car. How much do you plan to take for the next batch? The armed police at the entrance are checking the identity of the person who is actually grabbing a loaded bomb. Jiang Shu put down the window directly, and when the person in charge saw Jiang Shu, he saluted and without any warning, lifted his pole and left as if he were in a deserted place. 300 tons. You have a big appetite, can you eat it or not? Rhenium ore is not a big deal. Okay, wait for my message in 2 weeks. This collaboration. Jiang Shu did not require advance payment at all and only notified Shenfei when the cargo ship was approaching the port. I didn't expect state-owned enterprises to be faster. In just 6 hours, 3 transactions were directly transferred from overseas, and the balance in Jiang Shu's card skyrocketed to 525 million. It's time to buy a house. I'm afraid Su Qingyue and Shenfei couldn't even dream of it. This man, who is so mysterious that he is encrypted by S in the senior management of state-owned enterprises, is still renting a house, but before that, Jiang Shu needs to visit Su Qingyue first to talk about purchasing weapons. In the afternoon. A private club with a tranquil environment. Jiang Shu's Karina parked at the entrance and, led by the waiter, headed straight to the second floor. When I saw Su Qingyue sitting in the sandalwood, I was a bit shocked. It's different from last time we met. Su Qingyue dressed extremely beautifully this time. But you can't even imagine that the woman in front of you is actually a military leader. Mr. Jiang, please take a seat. Jiang Shu sat down and said directly, "Hello, Miss Su, I would like to purchase a batch of military weapons from you." Su Qingyue was a bit surprised. This is the first time she has met a man as straightforward as Jiang Shu. "Mr. Jiang, don't you want some tea?" Su Qingyue acted elegantly and changed her tone. "As Mr. Jiang, you can buy as many weapons as you want, but I need to inform him in advance that we only sell castrated versions." "No problem. The export version and the domestic version are definitely different. Back then, when the dog tycoon bought our mushroom eggs, we still had the launch button in our hands. For Jiang Shu, he also doesn't need heavy weapons. An ordinary QBZ-95 and ordinary rocket launchers are enough for them to use, just to fight zombies, not to destroy the universe." "So what does Mr. Jiang want?" "We have a shallow sea-based giant wave .2, a hypersonic DF.17C, and..." Stop. 3 black lines sprouted from Jiang Shu's head. "Sister, I'm not buying mushroom heads. What I want is conventional weapons, not strategic nuclear deterrence. You may have misunderstood my meaning." Jiang Shu took out a list and handed it to Su Qingyue. This list was prepared in advance by Jiang Shu, involving weapons and ammunition for the Army's basic equipment, including pistols, grenades, assault rifles, portable rocket launchers, and bulletproof vests. Wait a minute. This is enough for Li Yu to develop a base. As for anti-aircraft guns, fighter jets, and so on, it's not necessary. Sorry, Mr. Jiang, I misunderstood your meaning. Su Qingyue nodded. We can provide all these conventional weapons, but I'm not sure what Mr. Jiang's use is. Jiang Shu opened his mouth and said helplessly, "Kill the zombies." Su Qingyue. "Mr. Jiang, regarding the arms trade, we hope you can truthfully inform us." Look. She doesn't believe it. "Convex, I'm really fighting zombies. I understand, Mr. Jiang's identity is quite sensitive and it's not convenient to say." "I understand." Su Qingyue rolled her beautiful white eyes. "Silent, if you don't want to say it, then don't say it. Why make up such childish lies? Mr. Jiang, we can provide you with conventional weapons, but we do not accept cash transactions and only accept chromite." At this moment, a news flashed on the TV in the room. Recently, the National Energy Commission released the latest data statistics due to the changing world situation, there is a serious imbalance between supply and demand. In recent years, the import volume of chromite has increased significantly. As of May this year, the mining output has once again broken a new low, down 34.22% year-on-year. P.S. New books and elderly, seeking flowers, seeking evaluation tickets, seeking collections Qingming outing in happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th.